Go.
Okay, raise your hand if you've ever had a night class at MC. Okay, so imagine you're leaving that night class, walking to the parking garage to go and get some food off campus, and someone approaches you and takes your car keys and your car. What would be the first thing you do? Call 911 or call MC security? So, today I want to talk about how our security being unarmed is a problem, why there's a need, and how it will make our campus feel safer. Last year, around Christmas time, I was robbed, and I did not have a way to call 911. So I had to try to fight a 6'6", 250-pound guy by myself. So this is what made me kind of be interested in this when I found out that our security wasn't armed, because I knew what it's like being in a situation with someone way bigger than you, and you have no protection. So David Perdick, in his story and analysis of U.S. School shootings, there have been 65 so far this year. This is a graph of from I think 1980 to 2018, and the lighter line is just injuries. So this isn't even talking about like students who were killed, and I mean it's like quadrupled since then. So it's definitely something that's an issue today. At my previous school, we had a class called EDHE, which like all freshmen took it. So it's kind of like the equivalent of our chapel, like everyone has to take it. And my teacher was so like, it horrified her that she made an appointment with our campus security and we met with them and they told us what to do if there's an active shooter and we can't get in touch with security, how to properly like communicate with them, because obviously you can't tweet or say, hey, we're in here. You have to know how to just lock yourself in and just wait on someone. And so when I got to MC and I found out that they don't really do that, I was thinking that this is something that I really think our campus security should do, because we all need to know what to do if that happens, and even if it's not on a school campus, even if it's somewhere else, you need to know what to do to protect yourself. And so while I was researching, I found a really interesting story about this small school in Arkansas. So the quickest that the police can get to them is about 25 minutes because they're in such a rural county. And so their principal actually took it upon herself to take her firearm to school. She didn't allow any other teachers, just her, and she kept it in her desk. And so she's at an elementary school called Cutter Morning, and her name is Nancy Anderson. She was in her office working, and she heard gunshots coming from her playground. And so she immediately grabbed her firearm and ran to the playground, and she found a guy sitting on the playground just shooting randomly. There were no kids out there. And so she waved her gun at him, and she gave him commands, and he ran away. And so she said, thankfully there were no kids out there, but she said, in a quote, she says, I was never so happy and felt empowered to protect my students. And so now in that area, the principals are allowed to have firearms. So I know gun control is something that's really controversial today. This was done, I think, last year. They asked people how they felt about security on campuses having guns. And most people said if they are vetted, trained, and qualified annually, that they would be okay with it. And so I think that that's the one that I personally agree with the most, because I feel like in order to carry a gun around kids, you need to know how to use it and when to use it and need to be trained. And then they said yes if they pass a one-time police level proficiency check. I don't really agree with that one, because I think times change, and I think it's something that needs to be done annually, because like with a teacher's license, it has to be renewed annually. So I believe that that's something that needs to be done annually. So with MC Security, they're not armed, but we have Clinton Police riding through here regularly. So I got to thinking, like, okay, how can this be a problem? So if you have an MC Security officer that walks up on a situation where someone has a firearm, what are they supposed to do? And it's kind of like, well, you can't ask the criminal to please hold on and let me call for backup real quick. They have to be able to act in that moment. So I think that it's important that they're able to not only protect the students, but protect themselves, which any kind of arming them would do that. So then I was talking to some people about this, and they're like, well, that's not going to happen on MC's campus. And that's actually not true. Last year, there was a female student who was walking from class to the parking garage, and she was carjacked. And they robbed her and took her belongings, and they actually did not find this guy until 3 weeks ago. And he has been brought back to Clinton, and they're going through with the thing. So according to cityratings.org, Clinton is among the safest cities in Mississippi. So far this year, there have been 26 violent crimes and 206 burglaries. So I was thinking, okay, what about like our neighboring cities like Jackson and Madison? So I looked into Jackson since it's the closest, and they've had 1,556 violent crimes and 1,973 burglaries. So with them being so close, I feel like our security needs to have something, because you never know when anything could happen on our campus. And I just think that we really need to give our security just a little bit more power. And so we have like the town hall meetings with Dr. Thompson, where we can go and talk to him about things on campus. And I really think that we should open up a section where we talk to our security about things that we can do differently. And so I really encourage all that when we come back from Christmas break, I believe there's going to be one for the first of the semester. And so I encourage everybody after hearing this speech to bring that up in that town hall meeting. That's all I got.